Good evening, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Topic I was going to cover is why I like rock limited access water skirts so well. Well, first of all, they're easy to put in comparison to building a rock pad. You got to get a pipe through the dam. You got to have a valve on the back, a shut off, a pad, some kind of rock or concrete pad, some landscaping timbers to hold your rock around the pad. You got to have the tank. And then you got to have a water valve for the tank and a drain for your tank if you want to clean it out. And here, Johnny came in and put in a rock skirt in about 45 minutes. Folks, I just had this wire. I'll show you what I did. All I did is I swapped it. So the cattle were in here just a second ago, like literally 10 minutes ago. And I just took this handle. It's got a red handle on it. And I've got my reel right up there by the four-wheeler on top of the hill. You can see the four-wheeler sitting up there. There it is. And I reeled it down to the pond. All the cattle went zoom. They shot over into there, about 200 and some head. And then I just took my red handle here. It was sitting over there on that corner of the skirt. And so I just took it off and I brought it over here and hooked it on. I've got a little hook right there. That's permanent. And then the last 3 posts that I came down the hill with, I just grabbed them and I moved them over about 30 feet. I didn't even move the rest of the posts up there. And when I saw the last cow and calf go through, I put it back in. I didn't have to move a water tank. I didn't have to unplug a quick coupler. Nothing. There's nothing. And there was over 200 head on this water skirt. And there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 good ones. 6 cow manure pots. Pats. And this rock is sharp on their feet. And so they come down and they get them a good drink. It's good water. I walked up here a while ago to take this skirt down, a big old bass left to swirl. It took off out into that pond. Isn't that a pretty pond? It's pretty because we don't have the cattle in it. I do need to drop a couple grass carp in it though. They'd eat a lot of that water plant in there. Just kind of knock it back a little bit. Grass carp will eat its weight every day in green pond plants. Yeah. Something just fell out of that tree over there. Must have been like a dead limb. It's an awful nice white oak that died. It's been dead 2 years now. It needs to be cut up this winter. That's awful good firewood. White oak is one of the best oaks there is for firewood. It's got the highest BTU of any of the oaks. The only wood that'll beat white oak is hedge in BTUs. And I don't burn hedge because I don't want to burn my house down. Folks, that stuff gets hot. Hedge will actually melt. If you go off and leave the damper open, it could melt the pipe on your stove. It gets hot. So I'll stick with white oak or black oak. Oh, look at that. Told you there's good fish around here. He just came up and teased me. I'm gonna have to go get my fishing pole. See if I can see. That's good fish. Can't tell I'm a fisherman, can you? But yeah, this is just the pond skirts are so easy to deal with. Once you get them in, this has got 12 ton of big rock underneath it. And then it's got 12 ton of 2-inch rock underneath it. And I've had a lot of people ask me, well, Greg, when you built this pad, you come in from the pasture down into the pond, did you put geotextile underneath it to keep the rock, you know, from settling? Folks, you can't put geotextile on an incline, any type of incline. It's got to be flat. If it's on an incline, all your rock is going to go, zoop, it's going to slide down that textile, and it's going to all end up out in that pond. So, no, there is no textile. That's why I put the big rock down. But I've had some of these in now since 2000, I think 18 was the first one we put in. And shoot, you can't tell. They look exactly like they did when we put them in. But, you know, we're not on them a long time. So the cows will be on this particular one right here for half a day. They were this morning. This evening, they'll be here. And then we move them north, and they're going to go into another pond, and it's got a skirt on it. We call that pond the aquarium pond because it looks like an aquarium. And it's got huge fish in it, big bass and big blue. It's got bluegill in there bigger than my hand. I mean, nice ones. So may have to restock our freezer with some fish. It's getting that time of year. It's getting cooler now, and I bet you the fish will be starting to bite. So it'd be a good time to put some in the freezer. But if you're thinking about, you know, you got a pond and it doesn't have a pipe on it, folks, how are you gonna get water out of there without destroying your pond? Well, you can get a solar pump and put a pump on. Those are kind of pricey. You gotta buy a tank, and you gotta put a pad for the animals to drink from your tank in rainstorms. Now, in perfect condition, you know, you could put a solar pump right there and put a tank out there, and as long as it's not raining, they're not going to tear your pasture up. But when it's raining, and it won't stop raining, and you bring 200 head in there, all you got is a mud pit. Folks, this holds cattle up. I love them. I'll never build anything but. It's all rock skirts for me. And they're actually a little bit cheaper than a tire tank. And they're not near the maintenance. I mean, all we got is a piece of poly. This is a poly grade, poly wire, I'm sorry. It goes out, it goes across and back. And there's that dang fish again. Oh, he's making a swirl out. That swirl's still out there. Oh, there it is again. I may have to run back to the house to get my fishing pole. But this has got permanent high tensile wire all the way around this whole pond. It's got Indian grass, it's got big blue stem, goldenrod, all kinds of forbs all the way around this whole pond. Lots of Indian grass. I like Indian grass. It's a natural warm season grass that was here for centuries until the settlers overgrazed it and plowed and took it out. But it's in the seed bank, and Ike and I were noticing yesterday when we moved the cows onto another pasture. Well, we actually made some pastures up here in front of us. Unbelievable. 20-25% Indian grass. It's coming up everywhere. And right this time of year, it's about 7 feet tall. So it's putting out seed, and so it's propagating itself. This one here is only 6. That's about 6 foot tall. But it's a wonderful, wonderful grass. Cattle like it. Sheep will kind of pick at it, but cattle love it. They'll eat the heck out of it. But, you know, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take some scissors. There's a bunch of it here. And I'm going to harvest these seeds all the way around this pond, put them in a Ziploc bag. And then I'm just going to do the Johnny Appleseed trick. Just going to walk across some pastures, throwing out a handful every now and then, and just see what happens. I'll mark the spot that I do it, and I'll let you know if I'm successful or not. But folks, look at the seed on this. So you can take your hands. It just comes right off. Look at that. Matter of fact, I'm going to grab a couple, and I'm going to walk a path. Just grab a handful of it, right? There we go. Now as I walk back up to my four-wheeler, I'm just gonna Kind of like seeding radishes, you know. Kick some out as I'm going along. It'd be funny, you'll see a trail from the pond up to this gate up here next year, maybe. You know, halfway anyway. I just ran out of seed, but you get the gist. Go price Indian grass seed. You might want to be setting down. I know Big Blue Stem's around 30. Indian grass is going to be up in that same neighborhood. Eastern Gamma grass seed, $35 a pound. Yeah. So if you can get free seed, why not? Why not take advantage of it? It just amazes me how fat these cattle are on grass. No grain. That's where the money is in livestock, folks. It's being able to keep animals on this. This is what they've already ate, and this is what we're leaving behind. We left a good solar collector intact. We keep getting these weekly little sprinkles. Maybe we'll get a good rain one of these days. This grass is absolutely going to explode, growing back. So we're happy. We're happy with our conditions. We weren't so happy a month and a half ago. I mean, it was pretty dry out here. Everything is brown, and it just looked like it was going to be a miserable fall to grow grass, but that didn't happen, and we're so thankful that it didn't. Folks, I'm going to get out here, and next time you all build a pond, think about putting a rock skirt on it. There's a lot less maintenance than doing a tire tank or any kind of tank. And if you do it right, it's going to last you your lifetime. And preserve your ponds. It costs a lot of money to build them. We went by a pond the other day. Oh, where was I going? It was a big farm. And the guy he was doing Columbus method. He had like a 300-acre pasture. He had like 100 cows in it, and they're all black, and they're all out in the middle of the pond swimming around, and the banks are all beat to stuff, and the water was just putrid looking. Absolutely couldn't have been a fish in there. They probably killed all the fish. You know, and people are just oblivious. Oh, it's a pond, let the cows in it. Well, if you like parting way with your money every 5 to 10 years, having it dug out and ruining any chance of having fish in it, then continue to let your cows ruin it, and also it ruins the health of your animals. Because if I made you drink water that you'd pooped and peed in, you wouldn't perform very well. Well, you think these guys and girls are any different? Nope. So anyway, I'm gonna get down off that soapbox, and y'all have a good one. Hit that subscribe button way up, and we'll see you next time.